Alright, listen to me. Your brain doesn't know what's real and what's not. The same way when you watch a movie, you don't know what's real. So when you watch a horror movie, you're genuinely terrified because you think it's real. When you watch a thriller movie, when you watch an emotional movie, you're acting out those emotions in real life because you think that it is true. I mean, look at your life. All of your negative thoughts, all of the negative mindsets, the limiting beliefs you have of yourself, that you are a failure, that you are below average, that you can't do that you can't open that business, that you can't make that money, you can't get that job. All of these negative emotions that you have of your own self is manifesting right now into your real life. Look at it. You're still your current self doing all of the bad habits. Your lower self is manifesting itself into your real life. You are not able to go outside of your boundaries, outside of your comfort zone because of your negative emotions and thoughts. It's real. What you think is what your brain thinks is real. That's the power of belief. That's the power of visualizations. Because a lot of people just say visualizations and self image is just a lot of talk. It's not real. It's not concrete. But it is real. It works. It has been working till now. Like psychology, how you think of yourself, dissatisfaction, all of these things you feel are real and it gets manifested in your real life. So instead of fighting against it, at least give it a try. Like, give it a try for 30 days, 21 days. Just try it out. Visualizations make you feel like the superior version of yourself who has already accomplished those goals. So you act like that superior version and you accomplish those goals. You need to be him before you become him. That's the famous quote I heard from Mike Tyson. A lot of entrepreneurs, millionaires, they all say the same thing. You need to become he who can. You see, all my life, I had a self image that was working against me. I had a self image of a failure. So I never scored straight A's in my school because that was just not in my self identity, self image. I was consistently almost failing classes for 9 years, right? Almost. Like the passing grade would be 38 out of 100, and I would be at 41, 42, sometimes 47, 50, around that. And I would never be able to understand how these straight A students and the toppers are able to accomplish whatever they are accomplishing, how they're able to have such a good social connection and make so many friends. How are they able to be so good at sports? I was never ever able to understand it because my own self image and identity was acting against me. That's why childhood and how you're grown up and your surroundings matter so much because they form your belief and self identity, right? If there's a person who grew up in a rich family, his self belief and identity would be of a rich guy, would be that money is abundant and you can make as much money as you can, as compared to a boy who has been grown up in a very poor area. For him, money is this unique thing that is so little and it's not available at all. So you need to save money. So you see these extreme different scenarios where a person just believes something and there's another person who just believes something else. And this belief makes them live that belief in reality. It's those negative things, those beliefs getting manifested into their real life. So why not use the power of visualization and belief and how you think to actually help you, to actually be your partner and fast forward your self improvement progress and get to the level where you want to go and become your superior version. If I can contribute the most amount of success I have had in my life to one thing, I would say it's visualization. All my life, all my school life, I was sort of a failure, and that was my self image. When I decided to change my self image, that was when I was 16 years old or 17. I was in 12th grade, and that's when I come across Psycho-Cybernetics. And I haven't read the book, but there was some summaries on it on YouTube. And that's when I started to work on my self identity, self image. I worked on visualizations. I would wake up and visualize my to do list getting completed, and almost every single day for 4 months straight, like 100 pages of my to do list getting crossed off every single day, every single one of those tasks. I would imagine myself going abroad in a foreign country, which was a huge thing for me. I would never think that I would be able to do that. But I went to UK, I lived there, right? I would imagine myself getting straight A's. I got straight A's in my school. So this is the power of belief and how you change your self-identity and image. And it's very, very worthwhile for you to invest your time, at least 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day for this. So there's a normal way to visualize, which is you close your eyes and you visualize your superior self. So you visualize you being in the shoes of your superior version. How would you act? How would you behave? How would you talk to people? Would you be warm, loving, masculine? How would you act in certain scenarios? Would you run away from certain things? How would you deal with social situations or awkward situations? Would you have any of them? No. How would you argue with people? Would you be emotional or would you be logical and calm and relaxed? So this is the basic way of visualization. Basically, you already imagining you achieving your goals, achieving your superior self and acting like him. But I do it in a different way. So I have my goals on a sheet of paper. I have two goals written down. That's on my wall and on my desk, two paper. I have on the bottom half of the page, I have the character traits listed out that is associated with my superior self, the person who has those goals achieved, and how would he act? How would he talk? How would he walk? How would he act in certain scenarios? How would he think? What would his habits be? Everything, every detail, like character traits listed out below my goals. And I would look at my goals, I would look at the character traits, and I would close my eyes and do my visualization of my goals, right? So this thing does three things. Firstly, you're being mindful of your goals every single day. Great. Firstly, you're being mindful of your goals every single day. Secondly, you are mindful of the character traits that you have to sort of portray to be him to get to that level. Thirdly, you are visualizing and changing your self belief and identity and working on your self image. So it's like a win win win, right? Sometimes when I'm going out for a social event or if I'm going to the gym, I would visualize for 20, 30 seconds or 1 minute to a song that I listen to all the time. And it's like a hype music song. And I would imagine myself going through that experience in like 2x speed and how I would walk, talk, act. And this sort of 1 minute of visualizing before I actually go do that thing changes everything. The second way of visualization is less talked about. I would say nobody talks about it in the self improvement space. But the crazy thing is, it's something that elites, billionaires, millionaires, all of the famous sports people, the champions use. This is the special type of visualization that you probably do not know about. You see, thinking about your successes and you accomplishing all of your goals is a great thing, but sometimes it can delude you, and sometimes it can work for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go back and fall back into your original previous self, the inferior self, right? You can fall back into it because you haven't anticipated your failures. So the next type of visualization is failure forecasting. Failure forecasting is something that is used by elites. I do it in two ways. I firstly visualize how I can mess something up. You see, I have dropped out of university to pursue my business and my YouTube journey and content creation full time. And I asked myself one thing. I visualized I would be successful, and I obviously visualized and manifested or tried to do the manifestation thing to sort of create my own reality and structure it and maneuver life in a way that gets me the success. Obviously, I did all of those good things. But I also did one more thing, which is I visualized how I can fuck this up. What are the things that I can do to completely mess it all up? And I wrote it down. I journaled about it and I thought about it. So close your eyes right now and imagine all of the ways you can mess it up. Whatever you are doing, maybe it's a big goal you're after, maybe it's a risky life situation or a life decision you're making, right? List it out. Think about how you can mess it up. It can be as simple as, okay, if I am pursuing my goals, I can get distracted on my phone, and visualize yourself just getting distracted on your phone and scrolling on TikTok or Instagram for hours. Just visualize yourself. Now, in real time, think about some solutions. Think about how you can solve your failures and shortcomings. So you visualize you are failing and then you visualize yourself winning over those failures in real time. So this thing does two things. Firstly, you are visualizing and you're mindful of how you can mess it up, so you know all of the ways you can mess it up and you can fall short, and you're also coming up with solutions to conquer it, right? So you're not going to be caught off guard in the future and fall back to your own habits, the original bad self, because your current self is going to fight like hell to not die. Because for your superior self to enter into you, you have to kill your current self, and your current self will fight as much as it can to not die and live, right? So it knows all of your shortcomings, all of your weaknesses, and all of the ways you can fail. It knows everything about you because it is you, right? So you need to think about your failures in advance and forecast it, and actually think about the solutions, think about how you can solve them. For me personally, it was me getting distracted into doing something else. Maybe it's just my phone. I'm getting distracted and getting back into my old habits, even though I am no longer doing them. Or it was shiny object syndrome. Maybe I'm doing another field, another business model, or I am just running after a materialistic thing. So these are the things that can come in my personal life, my way, that can completely make me mess it all up and get distracted. So distractions was my huge thing. So I have done every single thing to firstly increase my willpower and also create a system and an environment that works for me, not against me. It would be beneficial for you to sort of write it down. Like, visualization is great, right? It's great. But it would be more helpful if you just open up your journal and write down what are the ways I can fuck this up, how I can mess it up badly, and how I can solve them. So you're writing down and listing all of the things you can do to sort of mess it up, all of the resistances you can face. It can be a routine like, hey, I didn't have my coffee, so I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to wait for my coffee. And then by the time you wait for your coffee, you don't want to work anymore, right? These small things can happen. Even self improvement. For me, it was like, okay, I can get fully submerged into a topic like reading a book, and I would sort of almost fool myself and make myself believe that I was being productive. But my productivity is basically me recording videos, editing them, making scripts, developing some great word docs that would help you, and these are my work tasks, right? But I would almost fool myself into believing that me learning, watching another podcast, or reading a book would genuinely be productive. And that was one of the resistances I faced. So ask yourself, what are the resistances I will face? Visualize those resistances happening in real life, those shortcomings, right? When you want something from the universe, the universe is going to put you through hell, right? You can't just ask for something and not get tested. There's a quote I heard from Charlie Morgan, and the quote goes like this: the key to heaven is unlocked by visiting hell. So you need to go through a fire like hell to get to heaven, right? You need to go through the resistances. So visualize all of your failures, all of your shortcomings in advance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because it helps me keep making more content like this, and it helps me sort of get in feedback of how the videos are performing, and it also will help me to improve my quality, improve the production quality, the value I give in the videos. So it's a mutual benefit for the both of us. If you have any doubts, any problems with your own self-improvement journey, you can comment it down below. My channel is not that big right now, so I can respond to each and every comment. And if you want to sort of connect with me, you can go follow my Instagram and DM me over there. I'll respond. And thanks for watching.